Now to the political scenario, because former New York Governor George Pataki jumping into the race for the White House today. But you won't find his name on the latest poll of GOP candidates, where you have a five-way tie at the top. So who's got the best shot against Hillary Clinton? Well, according to this poll, her biggest threats in a head-to-head matchup, Senator Rand Paul, just 4 points behind with 42%, and Senator Marco Rubio also 4 points behind, both candidates within the margin of error. Tony Saig is a Fox News contributor. Bernard Whitman, former Bill Clinton pollster and CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies. Guys, breaking news right now. Rand Paul has just responded to this Quinnipiac poll, saying that Republicans need to ask themselves, who can win in the fall? I can win without giving up 1 ounce of what we believe as Republicans. Do you agree, Tony?
Well, look, Rand Paul's definitely out of the box, and he also brings in a new kind of a voter base to the Republican Party. He's been very candid about reaching out across the aisle, reaching out to African Americans. He gets the civil liberties crowd, the libertarian crowd. These are not traditionally always part of the Republican coalition, winning coalition. This is what I would think if I looked at this and I was Jeb Bush. You know there's people who don't think he's conservative enough. But now you're finding that there are Republicans who don't think he's the most electable. And Rubio's number here in particular, to me, is the most surprising and probably the most shocking in the respect that this is reaffirming what people have thought all along about Marco Rubio. If he catches fire, he, with his populist message, is the biggest foe to Hillary. And that's what I think you're seeing now. It's not necessarily Jeb. It's these populist Republicans like Rand and Marco.
Hillary Clinton must be a little bit nervous about these two candidates because, you know, some people thought it was going to be a matchup of old school versus old school, names that we've heard, the dynasties, Clinton versus Bush. But this latest poll is showing that maybe, at least on the Republican side, they want somebody new and fresh. Is that a threat to Hillary?
Well, I don't think so. I think Tony says that Rand Paul is out of the box. I think he's out of his mind. I think as people learn and understand his extreme isolationist policies, they're going to reject that in the Republican Party, just like they'd reject that in the Democratic Party. I think from Hillary Clinton's standpoint, she is polling better than all 5 of the top Republicans combined. So I think this speaks very well for Hillary's chances. And fundamentally, she's 10 points above the establishment favorite, Jeb Bush. And I think that it's interesting that the two candidates that are closest to Hillary, Rubio and Rand Paul, I don't think stand a chance of getting out of the primaries.
When you look more in depth in this poll, you find out that the trustworthiness of Hillary, though, is in question, and those numbers have gone down significantly.
And there's another important question that Hillary's scoring very low on, which should frighten her and people like Bernard, who obviously like Secretary Clinton. And that whole question about who cares about people like me. Remember this one? This is where Barack Obama in exit polls was out-polling Romney 80-20.
Yep.
Hillary has only a 1-to-1 advantage. Only 48% of people think she actually relates to them and is likable in that respect.
Max is about the 48% who'd vote for her right now.
Okay, interesting. Republican field also shifting gears on gay marriage. Big topic, moving away from a message of moral opposition. Dr. Ben Carson saying we should respect the right of individual states to allow or deny same-sex marriage. And Senator Ted Cruz painting himself as a constitutionalist, calling it a matter to be settled by each of the 50 states. So, Bernard, I know where you stand on this, but 6 out of 10 Americans agree with you. They think that gay marriage should be just fine. This has been problematic for the Republican Party.
Here's what I don't understand. Why is the party that claims to be in favor of limited government and in favor of strengthening families so desperate to try to legislate their own morality in a way that discriminates against people and actually harms families?
Well, they seem to be moving away from it.
I think that their approach has been morally, politically and intellectually bankrupt. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm glad that they're finally moving away from it. But to leave it to the states, that's the same argument that was used to justify slavery. It was the same argument that was used against interracial marriage. Well, it is a dying philosophy.
It's going before the Supreme Court before the end of June.
Leaving it up to the states is also the 10th Amendment of our Constitution.
It's not the 14th Amendment.
So let's remember that part, Bernard. Don't dismiss states' rights. Number one, let's think about something. To be fair, the evolution on this issue is rapid on both sides. Democrats like Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton ran against gay marriage in 2008. So to make the states' right argument, I disagree with Bernard, is actually more intellectually honest. Remember, David Axelrod said in 2008, Obama wanted to support gay marriage, but he didn't for political reasons. That's back when they actually thought they had conservative Democrats. I think the Democrats have been the ones trying to cash in politically.
And then he changed his mind as well. But it's interesting to look back on history. I gotta run, but it is interesting to see the shift. Bernard and Tony, thank you.
Thank you.